Hi, my name is Sophie Burgess. I want to read to you this letter. It's called the Willie Lynch letter. The reason why this letter is hugely important to me as a black person, as I think to myself from time to time, why don't black people stick together and unite like other cultures? Example, it's extremely rare to see a black business or a black family business, especially a hugely successful black business. Why is that? Asians have businesses, white Caucasians have businesses. Why don't blacks? Also, why do we diss each other? If a black man is successful in a suit, we call him a sellout, a coconut, a drug dealer. Why don't we congratulate him and try to be like that person? Well, I found this letter. It's called the Willie Lynch letter. Willie Lynch was a man who devised a plan nearly 300 years ago to keep black people divided and in essence suppressed. The speech was delivered back in 1712. He was invited to the colony of Virginia to teach his methods to slave owners over there, as they were murdering their slaves when misbehaved or at free will. Whereas Willie thought this was silly and ridiculous, as slaves were useful, so spoke of this plan that, in my strong opinion, is still happening today. I've copied the full letter below so you can have a read, but I've started from where I found most appropriate, so now I'll read out the letter. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple of miles back. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprising. Slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit, you suffer occasional fires, your animals are being killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I am not here to enumerate your problems. I am here to introduce you a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or any overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little test of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, but it is there because it only starts with A. The second is colour or shades. There is intelligence, size, sex, size of plantations, attitudes of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine or coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulation, respect or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black versus the young black male. The young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the females versus the males, and the males versus the females. You must also have the servants and the overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. My plan is guaranteed. And the good thing about this plan is that if used intensively for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. That's the end of the letter. Now, in my strong opinion, this is happening still today. And hopefully people will recognise why black people are like this and rise in consciousness and try to change this horrific situation that occurred 300 years ago. Thank you for listening.